Oliver Reed stared at the quantum field readings on his laboratory screen, his tired eyes struggling to make sense of the anomalous patterns. The prestigious Berkeley Quantum Research Center had emptied hours ago, leaving him alone with his obsession, proving the existence of interdimensional bridges. The first indicator that this night would be different came when his equipment started registering impossible energy signatures. The second was the smell of stardust. If stardust had a smell, this would be it, filling his lab with an otherworldly fragrance. "Your dedication is admirable, Oliver Reed." The voice seemed to emanate from everywhere and nowhere at once. Oliver spun around, his heart nearly stopping at the sight before him. Floating 3 inches above his laboratory floor was a being of pure radiance. Her form was vaguely humanoid but composed of swirling cosmic energy, with what appeared to be actual stars twinkling within her translucent body. Her face was ageless, neither young nor old, bearing the wisdom of eons. "I am Naira, keeper of celestial harmonies," she announced, her voice carrying harmonics that made Oliver's quantum sensors go haywire. "And you, my dear human, have caught my attention." Oliver gripped the edge of his desk, his scientific mind warring with the impossible reality before him. Why are you here?" Naira's form shimmered, condensing into something more solid though no less magnificent. She now appeared as a tall, elegant woman with silver-white skin that seemed to pulse with inner light. "I have searched 1,000 worlds for someone worthy of my granddaughter." Oliver blinked. Of all the things an interdimensional being might say, this wasn't what he'd expected. "Your granddaughter?" "Indeed." Naira waved her hand, and a holographic image appeared between them. It showed a young woman with the same silvery skin but with swirling patterns of cosmic energy that danced across her form like auroras. Her eyes held the depth of galaxies, but there was something achingly familiar in her expression, a loneliness Oliver recognized all too well. "This is Thera," Naira continued. "Like you, she seeks to understand the fundamental forces that bind realities together. Like you, she works alone, driven by questions others dare not ask." Oliver found himself drawn to the image, particularly to the complex equations floating around Thera in the hologram. "Those calculations, they're similar to my theory on quantum bridge formation." "Precisely." Naira smiled, and for a moment, the entire lab seemed to brighten. "You both approached the same universal truths from different perspectives. Your minds are complementary, your souls resonant." "Wait," Oliver held up his hands. "Are you saying you've crossed dimensions to set me up with your granddaughter?" "Oh, it's far more complex than mere matchmaking," Naira said, her expression growing serious. "The universe is facing a crisis that neither human science nor celestial power alone can solve. We need a bridge between our kinds, not just theoretical, but personal." Before Oliver could respond, his quantum sensors exploded with readings. The air before him shimmered, and suddenly she was there. Thera. The hologram hadn't done her justice. In person, she was both more alien and more human than he'd imagined. Her eyes met his, and Oliver felt something shift in the fabric of reality itself. "Grandmother," Thera said, her voice carrying the same harmonic qualities as Naira's but with a warmth that made Oliver's chest tighten. "You promised you wouldn't interfere." "I promised I wouldn't force anything," Naira corrected. "I merely created an opportunity for 2 kindred spirits to meet." Oliver watched as Thera moved toward his workstation, her eyes scanning his equations with obvious interest. "Your approach to quantum entanglement is unconventional," she said, a smile playing at her lips. "But elegant." "I could say the same about your calculations on interdimensional stability," Oliver replied, finding his voice. He moved to stand beside her, pointing to the holographic equations still floating in the air. "You've accounted for variables I never considered." Their hands brushed as they both reached for the same equation, and a spark of energy passed between them. Oliver felt a moment of vertigo as his consciousness briefly touched something vast and beautiful, the universe seen through Thera's eyes. Naira watched them with satisfaction. The resonance is even stronger than I hoped. Perhaps there's hope for all our realities after all. As Oliver and Thera began to discuss their theories, their words overlapping with growing excitement, neither noticed Naira's form beginning to fade. She had set the pieces in motion. Now it would be up to them to bridge not just the gap between dimensions, but between two hearts that beat in harmony with the cosmic dance itself. The night stretched on, filled with equations, theories, and possibilities neither had dared to dream of before. And somewhere in the vast cosmic web that connected all things, the universe itself seemed to hold its breath, watching as two souls from different dimensions began to weave a new pattern in the fabric of reality. The following week transformed Oliver's laboratory into a nexus of interdimensional collaboration. Thera's presence had turned his solitary research into a symphony of shared discovery. Their workstation now housed a peculiar blend of human technology and celestial instruments that defied conventional physics. The quantum bridge requires an anchor point in both dimensions, Thera explained, her fingers tracing patterns in the air that left trails of starlight. But the calculations suggest we're missing something fundamental. Oliver nodded, running his hand through his disheveled hair. They'd been working for 16 hours straight, sustained by coffee, his, and what Thera called stellar essence, hers. The energy requirements are astronomical. Even with your celestial technology, creating a stable bridge would drain the power of a small sun. Unless. They spoke simultaneously, their eyes meeting across the holographic display. Oliver felt that now familiar surge of connection, stronger each time their thoughts aligned. Thera's cosmic patterns brightened with excitement. We're approaching this wrong, she continued, moving closer. We've been trying to force a connection between dimensions, but what if? The connection already exists. Oliver finished, grabbing his tablet. We just need to amplify it, like increasing the amplitude of a wave that's already there. Their hands brushed as they both reached for the same control panel. This time, the spark between them cascaded into something more. The laboratory disappeared, and Oliver found himself floating in a vast cosmic space. Thera was there too, her true form blazing with the light of countless stars. This is how my people see reality, her voice echoed in his mind. All dimensions existing simultaneously, separated only by the thinnest of veils. Oliver watched in awe as galaxies wheeled around them, their dance revealing patterns he'd only theorized about. It's beautiful, he whispered. Like a cosmic ballet. And dangerous, Thera added, her light dimming slightly. The veils between dimensions are weakening. That's why grandmother was so desperate to find you. Before Oliver could ask what she meant, reality snapped back into focus. They were in his lab again, hands still touching on the control panel. But something had changed. The air felt charged with possibility. Your grandmother didn't just choose me for my research, did she? Oliver asked softly. Thera shook her head, her cosmic patterns swirling with emotion. The bridges between dimensions require more than just science. They need harmony. Connection. Something my people have been losing as we've grown more isolated in our cosmic towers. And humans? Your species burns so brightly, Thera said, her eyes meeting his. You feel so deeply, dream so boldly. My grandmother believes that the salvation of both our kinds lies in bringing together the best of both worlds. Oliver's scientific mind raced with implications, but his heart was running ahead of it. Every moment with Thera felt like discovering a new fundamental constant of the universe, both utterly foreign and somehow inevitably right. Their work continued into the night, but something had shifted. Each shared calculation carried deeper meaning. Every solved equation brought them closer to understanding not just the physics of dimensional bridges, but the connections that transcended them. Then the first alarm sounded. The laboratory's sensors screamed as reality itself seemed to buckle. Through the windows, Oliver saw the night sky ripple like disturbed water. Thera's form flickered, her patterns turning chaotic. It's starting, she gasped, gripping the edge of the workstation. The dimensional decay. We thought we had more time. Oliver reached for her instinctively, his hand passing through her increasingly unstable form. Thara. What's happening? The veils are tearing faster than predicted. Without a stable bridge between dimensions, the feedback loop will, her voice cut off as another reality wave hit, stronger than the first. Through their connection, Oliver felt her fear, not for herself but for both their worlds. The equations on their screens suddenly took on new urgency. This wasn't just about research anymore. It wasn't even about their growing feelings for each other. It was about survival. As alarms blared and reality trembled around them, Oliver made a decision. Science had brought them together, but it would take something more to save them. He reached for Thara again, focusing not on her physical form but on the connection they'd forged. "Show me again," he said firmly. "Show me how your people see reality. We'll find the answer together." Their consciousness merged once more, rising above the chaos of the destabilizing dimensions. In that space between spaces, Oliver Reed, quantum physicist and reluctant romantic, began to understand what Naira had known all along. The bridge between worlds would be built not just of equations and energy, but of something far more powerful, two hearts beating in harmony across the infinite expanse of space and time itself. The Berkeley Quantum Research Center had become ground zero for an interdimensional crisis. Reality ripples now occurred every few hours, each one stronger than the last. Oliver and Thara worked tirelessly, their minds linked through a connection that defied conventional physics. "The traditional approach isn't working," Oliver muttered, examining the latest failed simulation. The holographic display showed dimensional barriers crumbling faster than their theoretical bridges could stabilize them. "We need something unprecedented." Thara's form shimmered with concern, her cosmic patterns reflecting the mounting tension. "My people's archives speak of an ancient technique, the resonance protocol. But it's never been attempted with a non-celestial being." Before Oliver could respond, Naira materialized in the laboratory, her usual radiance dimmed by obvious strain. "The Council of Celestial Harmonies has convened. They demand immediate action." "Grandmother, they don't understand," Thara began, but Naira raised a hand. "They understand more than you know, child." Her gaze settled on Oliver. "They've been watching your work. Your connection. It's stronger than any we've seen in millennia." Oliver stepped closer to Thara instinctively. Through their link, he felt her confusion and fear, but also something deeper, a growing certainty about what needed to be done. "The resonance protocol," he said. "Tell me everything." Naira's form expanded, filling the laboratory with swirling cosmic energy. Images appeared around them, ancient celestial beings joining their consciousness to reshape reality itself. "In the early days of the universe, my people could merge their essence completely with the cosmic fabric. But as we evolved, we grew distant from the fundamental forces. We gained knowledge but lost connection." "And humans?" Oliver asked, though he suspected he knew the answer. "Your species." The transformation left Oliver and Thara as neither fully human nor purely celestial. Their merged form existed in a state of quantum uncertainty, shifting between dimensions like light through a prism. The Berkeley lab had become a sanctuary, modified with both human technology and celestial energy to maintain their unique existence. "The dimensional barriers are stabilizing," Oliver observed, his voice carrying new harmonics that made the air shimmer. His form flickered between human and celestial, cosmic patterns dancing across his skin. "But the Council isn't satisfied." Thara, similarly transformed, moved through space in a way that defied physics. "They fear what we've become." A hybrid existence was never part of their grand design. The Council's disapproval manifested as pressure waves that rippled through reality, testing the strength of their merger. Each wave brought messages, demands that they separate, return to their original forms, maintain the natural order. "The natural order was killing both our worlds," Oliver said, reaching for Thara. Where their hands met, reality itself seemed to bend, creating patterns of impossible beauty. What we've become isn't just a solution, it's evolution. Naira appeared, her form more substantial than usual, weighted with concern. The human authorities have noticed the anomalies. They're mobilizing to investigate. Oliver felt a pang of worry through their shared consciousness. His colleagues, the scientific community, the government, none of them were prepared for what they'd discover. The merged couple's very existence challenged everything humanity thought they knew about reality. "We could leave," Thera suggested, her thoughts intertwining with his. "Find a space between dimensions where we wouldn't have to hide." "Running isn't the answer," Oliver replied, though the idea tempted him. "What we've achieved here could revolutionize both our civilization's understanding of the universe. We need to make them understand." A commotion outside the lab drew their attention. Through the windows, they saw military vehicles approaching, accompanied by what appeared to be government scientists. At the same time, the air crackled with celestial energy as members of the council materialized. "Your time of choice has come," Naira announced, her voice heavy with ancient power. The Berkeley laboratory became a convergence point of two worlds, with military forces and celestial council members creating a standoff unlike any in human or cosmic history. Oliver and Thera's merged form cast prismatic light across the chaos, their transformed existence a testament to possibilities neither side had imagined. "This abomination must end," declared the council's prime harmonizer, his form a tornado of cosmic energy. "The separation of dimensions is fundamental to universal law." "Stand down and surrender for study," commanded the military colonel, weapons trained on the transformed couple. "This is a matter of national security." Naira moved between the opposing forces, her ancient power creating a momentary buffer. "Before you act, observe what they've achieved." She gestured to the dimensional readings displayed across the lab's instruments. "The barriers aren't just stable, they're strengthening. Their merger hasn't weakened reality, it's healing it." Through their shared consciousness, Oliver and Thera broadcast their experience, not just the scientific breakthrough, but the profound truth they discovered. Their merged thoughts carried images of human determination weaving with celestial wisdom, creating patterns of existence that neither civilization had dreamed possible. "Your fear blinds you," Oliver's voice resonated with multidimensional harmonics. "The universe isn't divided by natural law, it's connected by it. We're proof of that." Thera's essence intertwined with his words. "Our transformation isn't a violation of cosmic order. It's the next step in understanding it." Reality rippled around them, but this time, the wave emerged from their merged form as a demonstration. Where it touched the humans, they gasped as their consciousness briefly expanded, experiencing the cosmos as celestials did. When it reached the council members, they shuddered as human emotions and connections flooded their ancient awareness. "Impossible," whispered the prime harmonizer, his form fluctuating with newfound understanding. "No," Naira corrected, pride evident in her cosmic resonance. "Inevitable. This is why the prophecies spoke of a bridge between worlds. Not to maintain separation, but to prove separation was an illusion." The military colonel lowered his weapon, eyes wide with wonder. "The energy readings, they're not just stable, they're creating new patterns. New possibilities." Oliver and Thera rose together, their merged form a blueprint for a new kind of existence. Through their connection, they shared their vision, a future where humanity's passion for discovery could blend with celestial wisdom, where the boundaries between dimensions became bridges rather than barriers. "We offer you a choice," they spoke in unison, their voice carrying the weight of two worlds. "Continue fighting against evolution, or help us guide it." The lab fell silent as both sides processed the magnitude of the moment. Then, slowly, the prime harmonizer bowed his cosmic form. "The council acknowledges this new harmony. Perhaps it is we who have been blind to the true nature of existence." The military forces followed suit, weapons lowering as scientists rushed forward with instruments, eager to understand rather than contain. Naira approached her transformed granddaughter and the human who had become so much more. When I searched the galaxies for a match, I sought to save our worlds. I never imagined you would reinvent them. Oliver and Thara's merged form pulsed with joy and purpose. Their love had done more than bridge dimensions, it had proven that the greatest discoveries come not from maintaining boundaries, but from having the courage to transcend them. As human scientists began collaborating with celestial energies, and council members experienced the wonder of human emotion, Oliver and Thara remained the heart of the convergence. Their transformation became a beacon for others who dared to imagine new forms of existence, new ways of understanding the universe and each other. In the end, Naira's matchmaking had achieved something far greater than saving two worlds. It had opened the door to a universe where love truly knew no bounds, not of space, time, dimension, or form. The story of the quantum physicist and the celestial being became legend in both realms, proof that when hearts align across the cosmos, anything is possible. For in the vast expanse of space and time, they had discovered the greatest constant of all, love's power to transform not just lovers, but reality itself.